here today with the man, the myth, the basketball legend, Michael Robinson. He's an alumni. He's actually the assistant strength coach here at CBU now. And we're in the same master's program, and we have this nutrition class that we're taking. So what we're doing, we're going to take an active person or athlete, which I chose Michael, and so we're going to be looking at the anthropometrics, getting your height, weight, BMI, getting all the measurements prior. And so the nutrition program, I'm going to break down a program for him and put him on a program as far as what could meet his needs for an athlete. So I'll get more into detail later. Mike, you want to share anything with us as far as what you feel nutrition, something about some nutritional tips and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, coming from a sports performance background, I know quite a bit about nutrition. It's a touchy subject when it comes to athletic performance, but I think in general, for just the general population, eating right and exercising on a consistent, regular basis is always the way to decrease health risks and to increase, to me, happiness in overall life.
Exercise is medicine is basically what he's saying.
Yes,
so, yeah.
Nutrition is important, but don't forget, exercise is medicine.
And like he's saying, nutrition, it's very complex because certain things are good for this, but it's bad for that. And everyone is different and unique, so the way, a lot of times you have to find what works for some people, what might not work for others. So it's hard to put people into a particular group and category that meets everyone. You know, everyone's different, so it's not a what you'd say a one size fits all. Right. There's no such thing as a one size fits all diet for everybody. Right. Anyway, all right, we'll get more into detail. Mike's going to demonstrate a lot of different fundamentals as a basketball player and what he used to do, and we're going to work on some breaking down some tips and stuff for how to shoot a basketball, how to dribble, just mechanics and fundamental stuff. So enjoy.
Let's go.
Remember, it's always important to stretch. Don't just come out here, you end up injuring yourself. Put pressure on your joints. Open up the knee joint. Stretch across, get your QL, quadratus lumborum, and your IT band. Good little stretch for it. Lower back, hamstrings. Work your obliques. Neck, shoulders. What you're doing is just trying to get everything opened up. Your hip, get those hip joint loosened up. Get up on your calves, get that Achilles going. Get the fascia, a little self-massage. Stimulate that synovial fluid. Lubricate those joints, get those ligaments and tendons going. Upper back, get your shoulders. Open up your hands, get your fingers, everything warmed up, get blood flow. Stimulate synovial fluid, lubricate the joints. Don't want to end up injuring yourself. Squat down, just helps get your ankle, knee, hip. Just put yourself in position so that you get your body prepared for it in case you do get in that position. At least you'll bend instead of break or tear something. So, very important. Do little drills to get loosened up. Just kind of grip, squeeze the ball, fingers. Get your fingers loosened up, get your eye-hand coordination, just loosens up. Just working on it, just takes practice and practice. You gotta continue work every day to get better. The main thing is practice, practice, practice. It's just, you want it to come to where it gets automatic. You know, basketball is not per se a thinking game like sports. You think about it on your off time when you're practicing, when you're learning the fundamentals, when you're learning techniques, but you want it to come natural. So if you're in the middle of the air and someone puts a hand up, your first reaction is to react, boom, shoot it with the other hand. That's where it comes in at being ambidextrous, having dexterity in both hands. You don't want to be limited, because if someone knows you can only go right and become predictable, they're going to D you up right. So it's all about getting to where things come natural to you and automatic. If you have to shoot left-handed, boom, you make the adjustment. Shoot right-handed, boom, being ambidextrous. Comes natural, just automatic, boom. Catch, shoot, catch, shoot. That's what I was saying, feet shoulder width, bending the knees, looking at your target, elbow in tight, boom, follow through, come off this hand. This is your guide hand, shooting hand. All right, so we're gonna go over a little bit of fundamentals of how to shoot a basketball. First of all, what you want to do is when you shoot, I like to offset my feet. It's squaring up towards your basket. So you want to have your feet. We kind of offset it, but feet about shoulder width apart usually. Okay. Now you always want to have a bend in the knees and the joints and hips. You always want to nice and soft. You don't, because you use your legs to come up and through and your core. Okay. So you see how you shoulder width now. The other thing I just want to demonstrate, like I was mentioning earlier, you want to have space in between your hand here with the ball, okay? You usually don't want to have it. Everybody has their own shot, their own way of shooting, the way they've been raised or been taught, or just the orthodox shot that they've kind of gotten accustomed to. And if it works, it works. But I'm looking at it from a perspective of what generally you want to work on. So shoulder width, bend your knees, from your hips, and your elbow is usually in. This is throwing a football, as I did break down before. This is basketball. You want your hands forward. Now, when you come up, usually you don't want your elbow out to the side. Some people do, but you want I like to come from the hip up here to the forehead. I kind of mess around like Karate Kid, like this. This is where your arm should be. So, and remember, this is your guide hand. This doesn't get in the way. This is where you got space between the hand. This is your guide hand. Elbows in, come up, and when this hand just slides right down by your arm. So when you follow through, all you're shooting with should be is your right hand. You shouldn't shoot with both hands. And remember, I was telling you about the rotation earlier, about how the rotation of the ball, you can make adjustments on your shot if you see how the ball is, the rotation. And usually you can get a shooter's roll and so forth. Get to where I even close my eyes and do stuff just to kind of get natural, where boom, every time I want to have my hand right in the center of the ball. He's got his hand in the center, and one little trick, see how it's here, this is his guide hand, so it's to the side. All right, now his elbows in, now come up, he's looking at his target and follow through, and see the rotation of the ball. That's good technique right there.
Do a couple, James?
Yeah, go ahead, perfect. Then your knees, perfect. And you get the rotation of the ball. Boom. Okay, another little drill I do to help with your shot is find a line and a wall. And so when you shoot, you're gonna come off the wall and you want that ball to hit in the same spot. If it's over to the left of the line, over to the right, you can make the adjustments. So, you want to hit the same spot.
Another one I like to do that's really good for aiming and also making sure your elbow squared up is to get the side of the backboard and do the exact same thing you were talking about earlier. But just now I have an actual target I'm trying to hit. So now, instead of thinking about the ball coming to hit the same spot on the line, I'm trying to think, and this small target on the side of the backboard, can I continuously hit that every single time, working on my form? So really, you get a good idea, right? If I'm shooting,
basket,
yeah,
right.
Exactly. If I'm shooting with both hands, right, and my left thumb comes in the shot, you'll notice I'll shoot off to the side. The ball will go to the side. If I'm shooting straight on, right, the ball should come right back to me, right? So that's a good way to see as well. If the ball comes right back to me, my form is perfect. My rotation is right on point. If I miss left or right and the ball, I have to go chase after the ball. That's how you know either my guide hand is getting in the way of my shot or something's going on with my fingers up top. And so you always want to make sure you finish and you follow through with these last two fingers right here, your index finger, your middle finger, right? Because these two are the last ones to touch your thumb when you come off the ball, right? So you always want to finish like this. If I'm shooting with my ring finger or my pinky finger, it's gonna change that trajectory of the rotation, and I'm gonna end up missing left and right. As a good shooter, you always wanna miss forward and back. That means that something's going on with my lower body and my legs. I'm not getting enough legs, or I have too much legs. Right, if I'm missing left or right, that typically means something's going on up top above my torso, right? So missing forward and back, adjust with your legs. Missing left or right, adjust your form. Maybe your elbow a little bit, most likely it's something above your wrist. It's your hands, your fingers, how you're following through, little details.
Okay, a few other tips in basketball. We won state championship because our coach preached defense. Defense wins championship. Yeah, you gotta have scores, you gotta have a good offense, but defense wins championships. Because when it comes down to the wire, and you can stop somebody, and you're ahead, you're usually gonna win. Now, we're gonna work on some defensive stances. Show me your defensive stance, Mike. We're gonna talk a little bit about defense. Perfect. Okay, so he's got his hand here at the ball. The only problem with that nowadays, be careful, because the thing that people are doing now, they come up and through and you get fouled. So you have to be careful with that, not keeping it out there the whole time. You want to be there, but you got to know your player, because it's easily to draw a three-point shot anymore. But main thing is he's got his base of support wide. He's center. You got to know where the basket. So he's wanting to guide me to the left. So if I go left, remember, I want this offhand to guard here. So if the defender's here, you want to have this offhand to guard here. So protecting the ball. So it's just a good little way, so then you'll get fouled and so forth if they're reaching. Okay, so shuffle, shuffle. Okay, you don't want to cross over your legs. You want to stay here, shuffle, shuffle. Okay, and now, if we go this way, he got his hand there, spin, comes back here. And you see, if you get beat, he was here and then he did a drop step. So now that puts you in a better position. So now you're right back in front of him, okay? And so usually, like what we teach here, play the offense for a second, Mike. So come right here, okay? So he's got the ball. You want to have one hand here, up here, so you always have a hand and this hand down here. So, boom, active hands, defense. Now, if he goes, go ahead and make your move, dribble, here, you're in position, you got this off hand. If you're here, now you got this left hand, okay? You never want to reach across, because usually they're going to call a foul. So if I did like that, they're going to call a foul on me. It's going to go to the offense player. So that's why always have your offhand in the position. So you can either, if they were to go up on that side, boom, you got this hand here, active hand. Usually what we're taught to is not to hit down, because a lot of times they'll call foul. You want to go up, because right there, boom, then you're less likely, it's going to cause you're not coming across the arm. It's usually the arms are coming up, so it's a good way to defend that way. Okay, so active hands here. Okay, go ahead and make a move. Drop step, and here, still in front of him, here. And what you want to do is elbow here. You can't extend, that's going to be a foul usually. They will let you allow some, but don't, it's hard, don't let him, thank you. Too much stuff on my mind, too much nutrition and everything. No, so you don't want to, you don't want him to back you down. So you want to try to use your body, and when he's working, now, go and make your move. Okay, boom. And you got a hand up, okay? So it makes it difficult. So that's defense. You want to make it as uncomfortable as you can. You don't want them to get comfortable. If they're comfortable, there's a rule. Basketball 101. Don't leave a shooter. I tell them all the time when I'm playing shooting, you better guard me when I walk across half court.
He just left me. Don't leave me.
So that's the thing. You know, you got to make him comfortable. If I'm sitting up here, he's off on the right here, I'm going to step up into it, boom. That's all day. So that's the thing is, make him uncomfortable. That's the key to defense. Boom.
Offense beat defense there.
Yeah, age just got a factor though on it. I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm good as once as I ever was. Yeah. That was one of my dad's favorite songs. It's a country song too. It's like, my dad used to be like that. My dad was like 6'5". He played for Bear Bryant, Alabama. We have what's called triple threat position. Here's your pivot foot. You got the ball here. You can either pass, you can shoot, or you can dribble. So that's triple threat position. So you always want to, when you catch the ball, just don't stand here in this position like this, straight-legged. Bend your knees, get down, keep the ball active so they can't reach. Being able to move, triple threat position. So you're ready to pull, shoot, you're ready to dribble, or you're high, chest pass, overhead pass, boom. So it's a little breakdown. Just like in basketball, everything is about repetition, consistency, and doing the same thing over and over, unless you have to make adjustments. And the main thing is reacting, learning to, like a defense, like with dribbling. Next is ball handling. So find a line. Forward and back. Just little drills to help you with ball handling. Like with shooting, it's all about being consistent and getting to where you don't think so much. You have to react. Like I was mentioning earlier about being ambidextrous, having dexterity in both hands. Now this is the free throw shooting. As Mike just discussed, with his technique and his routine, everyone has their own particular routine.
My form, specifically, James will walk through general form. My form it's really simple. One, I think as a basketball player, if you want to be a good free throw shooter, is you have to have a rhythmic dribble. Meaning, I can't just get on the free throw line and just shoot like anything else, right? You want to have poise, you want to have confidence, you want to be relaxed when you shoot your free throws. So it's good to have a rhythmic dribble, some type of routine that you constantly do every time you hit the free throw line. So for me, I always line my right foot up with the middle of the rim. Normally on every basketball court there's a nail or some type of marker right there on that free throw line, coincidentally. So I always put my right foot lined up with that so my elbow and my shooting hand can be right on line with that. And then I'll normally offset my feet just like how I would in a normal shot, with my left foot being about in between, halfway in between my right foot. Then I always start with the spin. I'll spin, dribble 2 times, spin 1 more time, 1 dribble, and as I hit that last dribble, I'm dropping into my shot to have a rhythm shot, right? So it's not 4 separate movements where I'm going here, here, dribble, then drop, then bend, lift, extend, and shoot, right? I'm doing my blesh, my bend, lift, extend, shoot, and hold all at the same time as that last dribble's coming up. So now I'm in a rhythm, just like as if I was shooting a pull-up jumper, just like as if I was shooting a 3-point transition shot, just so that way I have more rhythm and more flow into my shot, and it's not so stagnant to where I can miss easily. So let me show you. It's a switch every time.
So with my routine at a free throw line, you just want to do that. You want to be consistent every time with what you do. So that then you can make the adjustments as we mentioned. Everybody does it different. They might be over to the left slightly because they're shot, they rotate their hand out. So everyone's different, but feet shoulder width, align yourself here. A lot of times I dribble 3 times, so what I do is that you always want to come to the free throw line, you want to be relaxed. So rule of thumb is when things are hard, you want to exhale. Release the pressure. Don't create, when you hold your breath, everything tightens up. Your muscles tighten up. It's like a cat, its hair stands up on its back. You're like this all the time. So you always just want to be loose and relaxed. Loosen the shoulders. Okay. Free shoulder width, my foot's aligned with the rim. I go through 3 dribbles. So what I do is sometimes I go around the back, but usually get the ball, take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath, bend, and follow through. Usually make the free throw though. If you don't, your coach has you have to practice shooting. Yeah. Shooting 100 of them.
Not shooting, making 100.
Making 100, exactly. So Because if you can't make a free throw, that's it, crunch time, that's the key. Then that's wins or loses games. So you got to be able to make free throws.
They're free.
Yeah, exactly, they're free. Okay, right foot here. Take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Follow through. And that's the way to shoot a free throw. Like basketball, it just takes practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. So defense wins championship. We went overall state. We were down by 10 points, and so we came back, something we call Panther, and we put it on them in the last 3 minutes and ended up coming back and win overall state championship. So defense is important. Keep it in my pocket. Success, and across, and balance. Be successful. Life's about balance. Keep believing. Success.
So if I can leave you with one thing, it's health, it's happiness. So always remember that. Go eat right now, and then go work out. I'm gonna hit this shot for you. I'm out of here.